All right, in this video, I'm talking about the way of a free spirit. And the reason why I'm talking about the way of a free spirit, because I'm a free spirit. What can I say? That's just the way I am. I'm just a free spirit. I'm a free thinker. I gotta be free. If I'm gonna be me, I gotta be free. And I can't be who you want me to be. So if you are a free spirit and you find it hard to fit in with society, if you find it hard to fit in with groups, then this freaking video is just for you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As a free spirit, I've had this battle my whole life. My whole life, I never really felt like I fit in with anybody, with any group of people. And I started to notice that at a very young age. I think it started in maybe even kindergarten. I remember walking to the classroom, seeing all the other little kids just nestled in their reality, just fitting in. And I just remember myself feeling like I just didn't belong, like felt like an outsider, like I was an alien and they were just, kind of programmed. It's kind of like when you look at a squirrel, or like when you look at, if you look at like a squirrel, right? And you notice that like the squirrel is like programmed to live a certain way. Like you don't fit in, but you can admire them from the outside. I've always felt like that as a person, always. And I still feel like that today. I look around, I see people, and I enjoy people everywhere I go. But deep down inside, I don't fit in. And I used to think there was something wrong with me because I didn't fit in. But over the years, I've gone to understand that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not built that way. I'm not built to fit the mold that most people have. I'm not built to fit in with any group of people. And that's okay with me. And I've understood that. It doesn't mean I can't work with other people. It doesn't mean that you can't get along with other people. It just means that you don't fit in, and that's okay. You are a free spirit. You are a free individual. And I think so much of society is conditioned us to believe that we need to be surrounded by a group of people at all times. And you try to get in these groups and it just doesn't work. Like you just find something that you just don't like about the whole group situation. And it just makes you want to go back to being solo again. And that's how I am. I grew up very self-sufficient. I really didn't need anything from anybody. And at a very early age, I felt like a tremendous amount of responsibility was put on my plate. Because many of you know that I grew up in a very abusive household. And so because I grew up in a very abusive household, I felt like I had to watch after my mother all the time. And in many ways, I feel like that took a lot of my childhood away from me. And so at the first sign of freedom I got as a teenager, I just started running wild. I started rebelling. And I quickly realized that I was born to be a leader. If I was going to be in any group, the group was going to have to run with me because I wasn't going to take orders from nobody. And so over the years, that has evolved to the point where I don't really want to be involved in groups like that. Like I have a mastermind group, and the reason why I have a mastermind group is because it's my group. If it wasn't my mastermind group, I wouldn't even be in the group because I'm just not a group person. That's just me, So I'm here to let you know that if you feel that way, it's okay. Just accept that you are not meant to fit in with the crowd, and that's okay. You don't have to. I know the world is trying to convince you that you need to be surrounded around people all the time. And maybe some people do, but I think people like you and I, we don't do well in those circumstances. This is why I became an entrepreneur. This is why I became also a solopreneur for a very long time, because I enjoyed my own company, and I still enjoy my own company today, which is why I have this big office with nobody in it, because I don't want anybody in it. I need space. I need my own space. And the older I've gotten, I've started to understand that I don't even want to be responsible for anybody else's happiness. I'm only responsible for my own happiness at this point. This is my life. And if you feel that way, I absolutely feel you. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think so much of society is built around conditioning people to think that they have to live the same way that everybody else lives. But another thing, even though I don't belong in a group, I get along with most groups. And it's weird. I get along with all type of groups, whether it's Christian groups, atheist groups, black groups, white groups, Asian groups, Indian groups, it doesn't matter. I get along with pretty much any group. And the reason why I get along with any group is because I haven't been conditioned by any group. See, if you get conditioned by a group, you're pretty much set in stone in many ways. You're going to see the world through a certain lens. And because I've never really been in a group like that, I've been able to see the world through the lens of an individual. I'm a free spirit. Okay. And I love living that way. I absolutely love living that way. And it's the most amazing thing in the world to me. It's the most amazing thing to live that way. And I just want you to know that I resonate with that deeply. And so here's some things that you can do in order to embody the spirit of a free thinker. Number one, you can just accept that you're just a free spirit. Just accept it. Just accept it. Stop trying to wish you were something that you are not, because that's going to cause a tremendous amount of stress in your life. Wishing that you could just fit in, that's going to cause you unnecessary stress. You're not built to fit in. There are some birds that fly in a flock, and there are birds like eagles that fly solo. Just admit that you're an eagle. You're an eagle. Also, you might be an owl. I've never seen an owl fly with a group of other owls. Usually an owl is just flying solo, and that's okay. The owl is not sitting there wishing it was, you don't see the owl sitting there wishing it was a freaking pigeon. The owl is just an owl. It's sitting there very calm in its own world, accepting that it is an owl. Another tip I have for you, if you're a free spirit and you're having trouble being a free spirit, is to mingle with different groups, but don't become so invested in any group. This has given me a tremendous amount of leverage in life and in business. And then number three, get absolutely clear about the way you want to live your life. When you have clarity around the way you want to live your life, it's going to take away a lot of the guilt and shame that you used to feel for being a free spirit. My next tip is to know who you are and live from that place of knowing. When you really know yourself, when you really know who you are and what you stand for and what you stand against, that is going to give you the necessary tools in order for you to live your best life. And at the end of the day, we all want to live our best lives. My next tip is don't try to force yourself into a reality that you know you are not meant for. So many times in my life, I try to force myself to see things from another person's perspective, because that's what we're told in society, that we should just see things from other people's perspectives. And although I think there's a lot of benefit to seeing things from other people's perspective, I don't think that means you should necessarily abort your own perspective. You know who you are. And there are things that you know are for you, and there's also things that you know are not for you. With that said, still keep an open mind and be willing to try different things. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't resonate with your spirit, if you're trying to get yourself to fold into a certain mold, put yourself on hold, sit still inside of yourself, meditate, and always ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I living the life I want to live, or am I living the life somebody else expects me to live? So much of society tries to convince you that you're selfish if you want to live life on your own terms. And to combat that selfishness, you should just live the way I want you to live. Say, screw that. You're going to die one day, and you don't want to live life trying to follow the script that somebody else set out for you. It's okay to be a free spirit. It's Robbie Cornelius, always encouraging you to master your mind and make money online. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.